Unfulfilled Promises, Europe's Joy and the Betrayal of Eritrea in the Wake of Fascist Defeat in World War II. Unlike many European nations that experienced post-war renewal and freedom, Eritrea's trajectory after the defeat of Italy was markedly different. By Abraham Bushra. June 1, 2025. The Allied victory in World War II signaled the end of fascist tyranny across much of Europe. But, even before Europe's liberation, a pivotal chapter unfolded in the spring of 1941, when Italy was defeated in Eritrea. This victory was a cornerstone of the Allied success in the East African campaign, but for Eritreans, it marked the beginning of a new and challenging era. In the aftermath of World War II, the United States led the Marshall Plan, providing billions of dollars to rebuild Western Europe. This unprecedented assistance played a crucial role in reviving economies, reconstructing infrastructure, and restoring stability to nations devastated by the war. Unlike many European nations that experienced post-war renewal and freedom, Eritrea's trajectory after the defeat of Italy was markedly different. While Italy's defeat in 1941 could have ushered in a new era of liberty for Eritreans, the reality was far more complex and deeply disappointing. The British Military Administration (BMA) assumed control of Eritrea as a caretaker government, yet instead of advancing the interests of the indigenous population, the BMA prioritized economic opportunities for Italian nationals and systematically discriminated against Eritreans, whom they had ostensibly liberated. Furthermore, the BMA retained and enforced fascist Italy's discriminatory, racial laws, and related regulations, which institutionalized racial segregation and perpetuated the ideology of white superiority. As a result, the Eritrean people were denied the liberation, justice, and dignity they rightfully deserved. Moreover, the BMA systematically dismantled numerous industries and subsequently shipped much of Eritrea's economic infrastructure to other British colonies. This had a profound and detrimental impact on Eritrea's economic foundation and future prospects. This removal of economic resources not only deprived Eritrea of its industrial base but also exemplified a broader pattern of disregarding the interests of the local population in favor of imperial priorities. The BMA was originally entrusted to serve as a temporary caretaker of Eritrea. However, it ultimately betrayed the trust of the Eritrean people. Rather than engaging with Eritrean society or recognizing the rise of Eritrean nationalism, British officials operated under the mistaken belief that Eritreans lacked the capacity for unity and self-governance. They failed to appreciate the extent to which decades of foreign rule had fostered a shared identity and sense of nationhood among the Eritrean people. Motivated by these flawed beliefs, the BMA pursued a policy aimed at dismembering Eritrea by dividing its territory and population along religious lines and allocating portions to neighboring countries. The underlying objective was to ensure the eventual extinction of Eritrea as a distinct entity. This approach demonstrated a profound disregard for the perspectives, history, and aspirations of the Eritrean people, who had inhabited the region for centuries. Such actions not only contradicted earlier commitments to Eritrean self-determination but also underscored a deep-seated disregard for Eritrean rights. The actions of the BMA in Eritrea represent a profound injustice that cannot be ignored. By retaining fascist-era Italian bureaucrats, maintaining colonial systems of racial discrimination, systematically dismantling Eritrea's industries and economic infrastructure, and pursuing the partition of the country, the BMA undermined Eritrea's prospects for self-determination and development. Although the BMA did introduce some positive measures, such as expanding educational opportunities and permitting greater freedom of expression and political activity, these limited benefits were far outweighed by the lasting harm and inequities imposed on the Eritrean people. Furthermore, while the Allied powers celebrated the defeat of fascism and championed freedom in Europe, they failed to uphold these same principles in Eritrea. The international community's indifference to Eritrea's plight during this period further underscores the selective application of the ideals of liberation and justice. This neglect, betrayal, and injustice had deep and enduring consequences. By denying Eritreans the right to self-determination and imposing continued foreign rule, the stage was set for decades of resistance and conflict. In response, Eritreans were compelled to fight for their own freedom, a struggle that would persist for generations and come at an immense human cost. Eritrea's political history is characterized by a complex and turbulent journey, shaped by repeated interventions and betrayals by powerful nations. Once a land of self-governing peaceful communities, Eritrea was subjected to Italian colonial domination, followed by British military occupation, and later forced into federation with, and eventual annexation by, Ethiopia. Only after decades of struggle did Eritrea achieve its independence and sovereignty. Recognizing these painful chapters in Eritrea's history is essential to ensure that such abuses and betrayals are neither overlooked nor repeated. Although a substantial body of literature exists on this important period of Eritrean history, much of it has been authored by individuals, some notable British officials, who relied heavily on their own perspectives and official records. Frequently absent from these accounts are the authentic voices and lived experiences of the people of Eritrea, who were most profoundly affected by these historical events. Including Eritrean perspectives is essential for achieving a more accurate and comprehensive understanding of the nation's past and for appreciating the enduring resilience of its people. This lack of indigenous perspective has significantly limited our understanding of Eritrea's history and underscores the urgent need for more inclusive and representative historical narratives. Integrating the voices of Eritrean people is crucial for providing a balanced and truthful account of the nation's journey. In this context, Alamsgid Tesfai's timely new book, An African People's Quest for Freedom and Justice, stands out as a landmark contribution. Tesfai's work captures the genuine perspectives, aspirations, and experiences of a uniquely diverse and yet united Eritrea, which is made up of a mosaic of languages, religions, cultures, and ethnicities, along with the insights of its leaders, thereby filling a critical gap in existing scholarship. Tesfai's book is poised to become a seminal text and a leading analysis of Eritrea's political history from 1941 to 1962, offering an invaluable perspective that will shape future understanding and discourse on this important subject. Finally, as Eritreans celebrate the 34th anniversary of their hard-won independence and Americans observe Memorial Day to honor those who sacrificed for freedom and liberty, it is an opportune moment to reflect on the parallel struggles that have become foundational to both nations' identities. The American Revolution stands central to U.S. national memory, while Eritrea's prolonged fight for independence remains a profound source of national pride and unity. Both the celebration and commemoration serve as reminders to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice for freedom and to acknowledge the historical injustices their peoples endured. These shared histories of resistance against foreign domination underscore the universal human aspiration for self-determination and dignity. Abraham Bushra. He began his career as a United States Army intern at the School of Engineering and Logistics, where he distinguished himself by completing the test and evaluation program with honors. He earned a master's degree from Texas A&M University and later advanced to senior management roles within the Department of Defense, where he demonstrated exceptional expertise in high-level program management, systems engineering, and test design and evaluation. Additionally, he has authored several technical papers that have been presented at prominent conferences and symposiums. A U.S. citizen with roots in the Horn of Africa, he envisions a foreign policy that leverages soft power, through trust building, strengthened relationships, and mutual benefit, to inspire admiration and foster a sense of shared purpose within the region. His unique perspective offers valuable insights into the region.
እቲ መስርሕ ቃላጠፈልኩም እንትስ ምስ ኣብ አዲስ አበባ ዘሎ መንግስቲ ተሳሚዕኩም ተገበርኩም ወደኾነ ይምሐሸን ተባሂል የለን ንሕና ንናጽነትና ዝኾነ ይኹን ሓይሊ ኣብ ዓለም ድሕሪ ኩሉ ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ዘሎ መንግስቲ ክፍርመልና ኣይንዘልን ተሳሚዕና ኸነቃላጥፎ ምስ ኣብ አዲስ አበባ ዘሎ መንግስቲ عركنان محزنان سلزخونه مسؤول تسامعنا حجنا صنت كنمص ወይ ድማ ነተናይና ጽነት መስርሕ ከነቃላጥፎ ኣይንደልንና ይልና አብና ቆሙን ተዘይኮይኑ ረፈረንዱም ክካየዳ ይኽእልኒው ተባሂሉ ረፈረንዱም ሕብራት ሃገራት ኣይካፈለን እንተይሉ ናይ ዓለም ማሕበረሰብ ብዝተፈላለየ ሓይልታቱ ከም ዝሳተፎ ገርና ረፈረንዱም ከነካይዲና ተባሂሉን ተሞግቱሉ ይሽዑ ናይሽዑ ሰነዳት ሓደ በሓደ ከም ዝረጋግጽዎ ተዘኪምና ዝነበርና ናይ ፖለቲካ ሓላፍነት ነዚ እዋንዝን ነዚ ወለዶዝን ዘይኮነ ንመጻኢ ወለዶታቱን ትርጉም ስለዘለዎ ናጽነትና ኸኣ ደምና ኸፊልና ተቃሊስና ዘምጻናዮ ኣብ ርእሲ ምዃኑ ኣብ ናይ መወዳእታ ሰዓቱ ብፌርማን ብቀለምን ናይ ዝኾነ ይኹን ሓይሊ ዘይኮነ ብናይ ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ድምጽ ክረጋገጽ ኣለዎ ንሕና ዝትኮብ ናጽነት ኣብ ላንካስተር ሃውስ ዝፍረም ናጽነት ወይ بخال استفلالي من قد زوهابنا ناصنتا يندلنا بحقاو من قد عالم زفلطو حزب ኤርትራ አብሙሉ ዘድምጾሉ ናጽነትና እንደል ተባይሉ ናጽነት መሲ መንግስት ኢትዮጵያ በቀረባ ይኹን ብሩሑቅ بصبوق دلياتكم بستفلالي من قدي أبز قداي زي إيد نيرو ويلي إزارة نخالف بوليتيكاو إعلامان تزي كوينو عب تاريخ زي تمركوسة حقي بلون مسلنان هلاوينان ناصنتنان بقال سنات راي زي كونا بحقاو من قدي بنا حزب إيرترا مولو تساتفنا زمصنبر ببوراكي ويدما بقداس بزغونه يكون لغسي نايزخونه حيلي كم زي مصه دغيم كانتم بحالتم الرغغاص حما يمسلني
share like subscribe مقبار يترسعوا thank you